Our Waukon Coach Conversation brought to you by Waukon State Bank and Fareway of Waukon. We're with head coach Chad Beerman and coach a 46-14 win over Monticello last week. A little bit of a slow start to that game, but you guys really turned it on in the second quarter. What made things click in quarter number two?
Well, in the first quarter, we took the opening drive and scored, but then they managed to sustain the drive. We had a couple of penalties that let them keep the ball going, and they went down and scored on us on fourth down, got it in. So we were actually down 7-6, which is the first time we've trailed since Decorah, really. So it kind of woke the kids up a little bit. Second quarter, we were able to get some pressure on the quarterback, and I think that kind of got things turned around as far as the way our defense was playing. And then, the offense started stringing together drives and getting short fields and getting an interception for a touchdown. So that was a big deal to get that spread going into halftime, obviously.
310 yards on the ground last Friday night. That means the offensive line must have had a pretty good night, fair to say.
They did. They did an excellent job blocking. I think we talked about it last week, but one of the things that Monticello really does is try to take away the deep ball and make it sustain a drive. And so it was important to be able to run the ball and to be able to finish those drives. And then when we got down and close to punch it in if we got close to the goal line.
Ethan O'Neill with another great night, 162 yards and 4 touchdowns. What has made things click for him this year?
Well, once we got that line kind of sorted out going into it, and Ethan, Friday night's probably the hardest he's run all week. I mean, he's a really strong kid, 6'1", 205. But Friday night he was lowering the shoulders and finishing runs and dragging kids along with him. So when he runs like that, he's pretty tough to bring down. And then we've got obviously other compliments to him. Creed has carried the load quite a bit, but Lincoln and Pat, those are kids that can help out, and then the passing game kind of opens things up to him if that's working. But really, it's blocking up front and then letting him finish his runs.
And we talked about the trenches on the offensive side of the ball and the improvements they've made throughout the year. How have the trenches improved throughout the year on the defensive side of the ball for you?
Well, quarterback pressures are a big thing, and this actually is the same defensive line that's really started for us all year. We had to shuffle them. But Brendan Sweetie ended up with 6 sacks on Friday night and then 2 more assists, so 7 total sacks. We had 10 total sacks as a defensive unit, which is pretty good, especially when this year you can throw the ball away in high school football. So that group is, I think, gelled. They've come together. They kind of understand where their strengths are and then play off of those.
This week, you got the Solon Spartans making their long bus trip up to Waukon for the quarterfinal round. What challenges do the Spartans present for you?
Well, they are a misdirection offense, similar to kind of a wing tee, shotgun based though. Good, really good offensive line that comes off the ball, and then they got a bunch of skilled players that can stress you whether they decide to throw it or. I mean, they're about 75% run, so they're really heavy in the run game. But, big physical kids that'll get off the ball, and they got pretty good depth too.
All right, Coach, keep your kids healthy. Hopefully it's a semifinal game to preview next week for us. Best of luck to you.
All right, thank you.
This Waukon Coach Conversation brought to you by Waukon State Bank and Fareway of Waukon.